WN.com and click Contests at the top of the page.
Your back-to-back Los Angeles Dodgers baseball is coming up this afternoon at 12. And the talk you love is always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartMedia, or TuneIn apps. Just search for K-Dawn in Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
All right, everybody. Good morning, Las Vegas. What's going on? Welcome to the Mark Hoke Show here on K-Dawn 101.5 FM, the talk of Las Vegas. We were the center of the wrestling world for a couple days out here. AEW Dynamite and Collision showing up. And if you're wondering, guys, on the live stream why I'm facing a different direction, and I do need to do a little rearranging that I forgot to do, I have to give mad props to the boss man, Mark Bonilla, who came in to the studio on Saturday and a computer went kerplunk, kerplow, and kerplooey and had to completely readjust, well, everything. And then I had to come in after work, give him a hand, make sure we were all set. But thank you, Mark, for doing your thing. We really do appreciate that. Keeping us alive on the show. And what a show it is. I got to bring in Coach Rosie first. And I'm praying to God that we'll be okay with it. What's going on, Coach?
Hey, how are you, Mark? Good to see you this morning.
Oh, it's good to see and hear you. That was what I was really worried about. So
yeah, I really wish I would have been in Vegas with you Wednesday night, but Frontier Airlines, don't book them. This is a non-paid advertisement, but Frontier, you were late. You cost me going to Dynamite and Collision and hanging out with the great Mark Hoke, and I'll never forget that.
Frontier's the one that screwed me on All In last year too, by the way. They better get it together. That's annoying because while the seats are not the most comfortable, I always enjoyed their customer service. But you and me, Coach, screwed by the Frontier. Dude, I'm gonna save a lot of the AEW stuff for the next hour because in hour 2, we will be hearing from a good friend of the show, Darby Allin. Will be we interviewed him earlier this week, headed into the Dynamite show. This hour, Coach, we're going to be talking some TNA as we've got Brian Myers. So that's going to be a blast. We're going to get to Brian's interview very shortly here. But AEW Dynamite was awesome. But, Coach, this is how great the AEW staff is. Now, there was an error. I had asked for some other tickets. And somehow it didn't happen right away, but credit to the Palms team, the AEW team. They got the people that I need to get in, and we ended up in the AEW guest box, Coach.
As you should.
And guess who was in the AEW guest box? Take a guess. What celebrity, musical artist, a winner of the Masked Singer was in the house? Can you come up with
considering you bringing up the Masked Singer, I'll be hanging out with Ken Jeong next week. We're filming a public service announcement in Alabama, but I don't know who is it. Let me know. You didn't even tell me. This is breaking news.
T-Pain. T-Pain was in. We kept looking over, and Eric and his friend and I kept looking over, like, yeah, that's T-Pain.
You should have said, yeah.
So
that's his thing.
Man, we had a couple of guys that ended up in that box with us too, and we got to hang out with T-Pain. And he is a new fan of one wrestler on the AEW roster. Who is that wrestler? We will talk about it in hour number 2. But he fell in love with somebody, Coach. He did. He fell in love with someone. So we'll get into that a little bit. But, Coach, I know this is going to be right up your alley because we had a chance to sit down with our good friend from TNA, member of the system, Brian Myers, who joined us as we're getting ready for TNA Lockdown, man. And TNA Lockdown is going to be phenomenal. Phenomenal. Have you seen this card, Coach? Of course, TNA Lockdown, first time they brought this pay-per-view back in 10 years, and all matches are inside a steel cage. Every one of them. There's a lot of angry people in TNA apparently, but it is loaded. Of course, the Hardys, your good pals, will be taking on the Nemeths for the TNA World Tag Team Championship after Jeff was knocked off by Nemeth for the world title on Impact this week. Demon X Bunny, Rosemary and Allie are going to be taking on the Elegance brand for the TNA Knockouts Championship. AJ Francis continues his wars with Elijah. They'll be in a steel cage. Jason Hotch, who just won the TNA International Championship for Mustafa Ali, will be taking him on in a rematch in a cage. Frankie Kazarian and Moose will be in an Escape the Cage match. Cedric Alexander takes on Leon Slater. I'm not big on the stipulation for this, but look, it's a TNA X Division Championship. And if Slater loses, his previous title reign will be erased from history. I don't know if you can do that, Coach. Can you do that? Can you go back in the timeline and just make it go away?
If Vince McMahon can fight God, I think you can erase someone's record. This is professional wrestling. We can make anything happen.
That is true. The system, which will feature Brian Myers, Eddie Edwards, Bear Bronson, Alicia Edwards, will be a lethal lockdown match against Ricky Sosa, Fabian Eichner, KC Navarro, and Jada Stone. That should be fun. And there will be a steel cage match for the Knockouts Championship between Zaya Brookside and Elena Black. So, man, 8 matches of doom in that one.
Yep. So the end of a lot of good storylines. TNA has been having the crock pot going on some of these stories, and they've really been percolating and simming, whatever you want to say it, in crock pot cooking. But this is the end. Lockdown. Every match in a steel cage. Every match intense. Every match with something on the line. TNA is doing things correctly. And their pay-per-view coming up in Chicago is definitely going to exemplify that.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun coming up. That is next week on the 23rd. So make sure you either get your tickets or you go to TNA Plus and get ready for that one because, man, this one's going to be, this is going to be something.
And if you are heading out to Chicago on Saturday night, August 22nd, Matt and Jeff will be having a Hardy party down there on Ogden Street in Chicago. Check TNA.com or social medias for that, but it's supposed to be one of the largest Hardy parties they've ever had. And Chicago's own Mustafa Ali is going to be hosting that. So it should be a great event.
That could be a fight, Coach. There could be some hijinks and shenanigans going on at that Hardy party.
There always is.
All right, so I'll tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break early, and when we come back, get ready because Brian Myers of the system from TNA is going to be joining us on the show. So get ready to hear from Brian Myers. Well, he had a lot to say too, talking about what's going on in TNA and his career and just all sorts of fun stuff. So stick around, everybody. Brian Myers from TNA coming up after the break on the Mark Hoke Show. We will be right back.
Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea just got harder with Twisted Tea Extreme. Twisted Tea Extreme is made with real brewed tea, goes down smooth, and an 8% give of alcohol. Dial up the fun with Twisted Tea Extreme. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly. Skechers elite athlete OG Anunoby has been making history on the basketball court.
Anunoby tips it in. Unbelievable. What a shot.
He's been balling out in Skechers high-performance basketball sneakers, and the world is noticed. But how does OG train off the court to keep in peak physical condition? Hands-free Skechers Slip-ins Aeroburst. They help prepare OG for the physical demands of playing at a championship level. Get your pair of Aeroburst for only $165 at a Skechers store, Skechers.com, or wherever high-performance running shoes are sold.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit Skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
In a world parched for excitement, Twisted Tea's your refreshing thrill ride of flavor. The hard iced tea that's smooth, made with real brewed tea and 5% alcohol. Twisted Tea. Keep it twisted.
Twisted Tea Brewing Company, Cincinnati, Ohio. Please drink responsibly.
Are you ready for when the next disaster hits? What about your family or your community? August is Emergency Management Awareness Month. Take steps now to get ahead of the next disaster. Free training opportunities are available to help you learn disaster preparedness and survival skills. You can find accessibility resources tailored to your individual needs to create a plan for any occasion. Make sure you're signed up for emergency alerts and know where to look for up-to-date information. The Nevada Office of Emergency Management is your guide this month, walking you through how they work behind the scenes to help our neighborhoods when they need it most. Get involved and know your emergency manager. For more information, visit oem.nv.gov. Sponsored by the U.S. Department of Homeland Security, the Nevada Office of Emergency Management Homeland Security, and your local emergency manager's office, in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and this station.
1015 FM KDON.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
Oh, man, I'm totally discombobulated. If you missed it earlier, I mentioned that we had to do some rearranging in the studio and with our computers and all our sound and everything else. Crazy. And I am just completely disoriented today, Coach. I've been facing the same direction for God knows how long now. Now I'm looking the other way. It
happens.
It does happen. But one other thing that did happen was we got a chance to sit down with Brian Myers from TNA and just had a blast with the guy. So let's get to it. Let's hear from the System's Brian Myers.
All right, everybody. We are very excited here on the Mark Hoke Show as we are bringing in one of the great veterans in pro wrestling right now. He is a 4-time TNA World Tag Team Champion. Of course, had a couple championship reigns in WWE too. And he is a member of the System and a newly revised System earlier this year, as he and Eddie Edwards, Bear Bronson, Alicia Edwards, Cedric Alexander are now teaming up, and they're going to have their hands full because TNA Lockdown is coming at you Sunday, August 23rd from the Credit Union One Arena in Chicago. That countdown show starts at 2 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. for the pay-per-view, which, of course, you can get your tickets at Ticketmaster if you're going, or you want to watch it on TNA Plus. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, I don't know. Maybe it's not going to be a lot of fun for our good friend here as we welcome in Brian Myers. What's up?
Hey, man. What's up? Thanks for having me.
Very happy to have you, sir. It's a pleasure to finally get to meet you after all this time. What's going on?
Yeah, man. Doing good.
You know, I was going to talk about some of the collectibles and stuff, and it just, this is the first time I've gotten to see you on this nice little set you've got. Wow. Look at that place, man. You're loaded.
This isn't even scratching the surface of what I got in this room, but yeah.
Yeah, you and Matt Cardano do that podcast too, where, who's got more stuff, you or him?
Oh no, he's got more, I would say. He just renovated like an insane toy room in his new house, so he's got me beat there. But I mean, my collection is super impressive for sure.
What's your favorite thing you've got?
See, I like. I think the difference between me and Matt is he collects a little bit. I think he leans more towards the value of things, like how much things are worth. I lean towards things that just mean more to me, more sentimental things. So just things I grew up on, original ECW stuff and things like that, or WWF Hasbro figures, things like that, kind of rekindle my childhood memories of pro wrestling.
Well, tell me a little bit about that. What are some of your favorite memories as a kid? I mean, I was a big Hulk Hogan fan, and I started watching him, dating myself a little bit. Take us back to your early fandom and what got you into pro wrestling.
It really all started. My older brother rented a tape from a video store. I know people listening to this are going to go, "What are these guys talking about?" A mom and pop VHS store was in my town called Video Orchard. This is pre like Blockbuster even, and he rented WrestleMania 6 and brought that home, and I was just like, "What is this?" And even just like the packaging of the box art and stuff with Hogan and Warrior. I literally have a mural of it in my room here because I just it just mesmerized me so much. Hogan versus Warrior, just a spectacle, and that was it, man. And I was 5 years old, and I've just been madly in love with pro wrestling ever since. And from that point on, I know the first thing I remember watching like live was Undertaker's debut that fall at Survivor Series 1990. So it's just been, I haven't missed much since, I'll be honest.
That's awesome. Well, people have been watching you for quite a while now too. It's very interesting to me that when I do a search on you, we're talking about everything that's happened in in TNA and so on, but that streak always comes up, right? The losing streak in WWE, and I'm curious to ask you what that period was like, because I never got to talk to you about it before. How were you feeling at the time that you were establishing something that's kind of an anti-success, but showing off a success that you're hanging in there all this time?
I think if I was younger in my career, I would have been butthurt, if you will, about it. Mm-hmm. But I was old enough and seasoned enough, and this was actually my second time being in WWE, that I was like, instantly. I mean, there wasn't one moment of negativity. I'll be honest. I thought, man, this could be really entertaining, and that's at the end of the day, that's what we do, right? We tell stories, we entertain. I was like, okay, clearly I'm not going to be the guy that wins all the time, but if I'm the one guy on the show that can't get a win, and then if I stick with this and if I commit to this, something really special will come of this. And that's what happened, for sure. So yeah, it like I said, if I was a little more immature, I'm sure I would look at it like, oh, I'm just losing all the time. But I was like, man, this is awesome and fun. And, it made my job so like carefree. It was almost like a cheat code to being a WWE superstar, because there was like no, like, I didn't show up to work thinking like, oh, is today the day that I'm going to, get a push? I'm thinking, man, I'm going to wrestle Baron Corbin and take his finish the best I can. It was like, it was so carefree and fun in that sense, because I wanted the losses to rack up. So, and it just became a very endearing and entertaining part of the show. And ultimately that's our goal as professional wrestlers. And just you even asking this question makes me know that it worked, because I just wanted it to be remembered,
Yeah, it was an awesome moment too. But I think that's a lesson to a lot of pro wrestlers out there that, kind of don't like their booking, or, that you got to be patient, right?
I mean, it's just like, there's only so many spots. So, but there's, let me rephrase that. There's only so many top spots, but there's certainly plenty of other spots that you could find fun and passion in. And, to me, it's like, I just feel so blessed to be doing this for 23 years now. Like, I feel like I've never worked a day in my life. I literally do what I love, my childhood dream. So like, just, I don't want to take anything for granted. It's been an awesome, awesome ride.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Well, the ride going on in TNA at the moment is quite fascinating for you and the company. Let's start a little bit about the new configuration of the system. When that whole thing hit and Moose was out, and you and Eddie, and all of a sudden you got Bear Bronson and Cedric Alexander in there, a really interesting dynamic as you guys have been moving forward. You and Bear won the tag titles. What was that like to make that change? Because I'm sure it was kind of like, wow, this is going to be really different.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I guess in the history of wrestling, when you make updates to things like that, it's a little risky. But I feel like, man, this is one of the few instances in pro wrestling history where the update was, a hit. Pretty awesome, to get rid of Moose. Dango's a quitter. He retired on us, and then we moved on, and we get Bear Bronson, one of the hottest stars on the independents, joins, to be our enforcer, and Cedric Alexander, possibly the best cruiserweight in the world right now. So, I mean, it was an easy decision, and we've been just cooking ever since that moment and that decision was made. And I feel like our performances speak for themselves. And again, it's like pretty blessed situation, right? To be working with my friends, to be factored in on this television show on AMC, and have be a part of it every week in important spots. It's just been a freaking awesome time.
Yeah, that was awesome with you and Bear Bronson, because I think a lot of people were wondering where he was going to fit in when we heard he was going to TNA, and he's done a fantastic job. I think a lot of people got their eyes opened when they saw what he was able to do with you guys.
Big time. And Bear can do anything. He can brawl, he can entertain wrestling fans in every facet. So I think he's just scratching the surface and all that. So I'm excited for his tenure in TNA. So
now you guys got the AMC contract too, and you're out there every Thursday night for the show. What was that like to have that come to fruition? And now TNA is on television on a regular basis, especially for a longtime TNA guy like yourself. What was the feeling in the locker room when all of a sudden it's like, yes, we've got the show finally?
It was like a dream. It was like the ultimate morale boost. It's something that with the whole roster been just working so hard for. That was, to all of us, the one thing that was missing was more eyeballs on our product. And now we've taken that excuse out of people's hands. You know what I mean? It's like everyone has AMC. It's a massive network. They've been such great partners, so supportive of the product. And the results are there. The ratings are up. It's been such a thrill. It was the one thing that we've been working so hard to get to prove ourselves, and now we're kind of seeing it pay off. It's really, really, it's so rewarding, especially for a guy like me who has been there for 6 years now, and like Access was a great partner, but it was borderline exhausting explaining to people how to find our show and how to watch it and things like that. And, and they had been dropped by several, cable networks and stuff. So now it's like AMC is a powerhouse, and it's such a privilege to be a part of their network.
Yeah, it's very exciting. And one thing that I find very interesting that's been happening in TNA lately is, you had a lot of people that left. Mm-hmm. And somehow you guys, people like you and the Hardys, Nick Nemeth, and Eddie managed to pull things together and continue to generate interest despite the fact some big names took off. What has that been like to be transitioning into some new leadership in TNA?
Yeah, I mean, that's just part of the business, and I always, when I give people advice, like obviously I was with WWE for, 2 stints of 14 years combined. Like everyone's experiences are different, right? Everyone's got to do what they got to do. If they have that itch, they got to scratch, and see what's on the other side, and the grass isn't always greener. But I do think what's different about TNA is that the veterans that are there appreciate it and do know, that the grass isn't always greener. And instead of I think maybe in generations past in TNA, they would get ex-WWE guys and they'd be kind of just hanging on to a paycheck just because. It's the complete opposite in TNA. The veterans we have are guys that are working their asses off. They're waving the TNA flag with pride, and they really want to be a part of making TNA a bigger success and a bigger household name all across pro wrestling and AMC. So that's the big difference. But obviously, I have nothing against talent exploring their other options, especially if they've never been. They have to find out for themselves. Everyone's story is different.
And we are, of course, on the Mark Hoke Show with Brian Myers from TNA. And one thing as well, as this company continues to grow, what do you guys think is the next step? You got the AMC deal. The ratings are starting to climb up. Where do you go from there? What do you think the TNA has to do to take it to another level?
That's a great question. I don't know exactly. I mean, I know like the YouTube channel is a powerhouse. Our attendance is steadily going up. Like AMC ratings are going up. I think like what we're doing is right. You know, it's a slow and steady wins the race kind of thing. I think, you know, that's where everyone's head's at. I don't think we need the too much too soon vibe at TNA. I think what we're doing is cooking. AMC's a great partner. I think it's just more industry buzz. The more that, you know, the people are talking about our show and our product is just going to keep propelling us to that next level. But we're getting there. You know what I mean? It's been a steady climb, and it's been a thrill to be a part of.
So TNA Lockdown is coming back. That pay-per-view has not been used for a while, but you guys are doing it again. Cages everywhere, blood, pain. You know, maybe some people are going to need a little plastic surgery afterward. Who knows? But are you guys excited to bring that concept back?
Yeah, definitely. I know the announcement was huge and perceived in an epic way. You know, any TNA diehards or old school TNA fans were like, I don't think they ever thought that Lockdown would be back. Especially sweet that it's in such a epic wrestling town like Chicago. Tickets are already, you know, flying. So, I mean, I'm excited as a wrestling fan, as a TNA fan. Like, this is a perfect storm. Just excited to be a part of it, and it's going to be a big, big, big night for the company. It might even be attendance record level big for the company. So that's what we're headed to. So I mean, there's nothing but excitement on our end about it.
Are you sure you're excited about that though? Because you guys have a pretty brutal match. You and Eddie and Bear and Alicia are going to be in the Lethal Lockdown match against a lot of good talent here with Ricky Sosa and Fabian and Casey Navarro, Jada Stone. That's going to get ugly. First, tell everybody a little bit what that match is and how are you feeling about some really potential mayhem that night.
Well, Lethal Lockdown is TNA's kind of love letter to War Games, if you've never seen it. Those teams, once everyone's in the cage, we come in intervals, then the roof lowers with weapons and anything goes. So, yeah, it's going to be dangerous. It's going to be wild. It's going to be bloody. But like I said, we're on this huge platform and this epic show in an amazing wrestling town in front of thousands of people. And I'll tell you what, in my 23 years, I've learned that adrenaline is the ultimate drug, and it will get you to do things you never thought could be imaginable and push you through moments. And I'm sure there'll be no shortage of it for the 8 of us in that ring that night. And, it's going to be something special.
So why are you guys so upset with these people? What's the system's deal? You have it all set, man. You guys are awesome, and you gotta just keep going and going and pick.
The way we see it, the system, we are the gatekeepers of TNA wrestling, right? We've been there a pretty long time, and we kind of had the lay of the land. So when new people come in, we can't just give them a free pass. They have to kind of earn our respect, earn their spot in TNA, and this is going to be quite the test for those 4 inside. Such a big match and such a big show with big opponents with a lot of, equity in TNA. So what better place to try to earn their spot than go through the system?
You're not going to let them, are you?
No, absolutely not. But they can try.
What is going to be? I don't want you to give too much away, but I'm sure you've got some good plans for this match. You guys got the wheels turning. Any special surprises we can see? What do you think?
The only thing I will say is, in our system group chat, we always coordinate our wrestling gear and everything. We've all decided to wear white for this because we decided that, nothing will be better than the end of the night when we get our hands raised and the blood of all the newbies is all over us. That'd be, mission accomplished sort of moment there for us.
Well, I'm sure your mission isn't totally accomplished. You've been doing this a long time, but there's still a long way to go. What are your personal aspirations? Because I would be interested. You had the digital media title once, but do you have any more aspirations to maybe go for the world championship or anything like that?
That's my number one goal. That's it. Yep, I want it. I think I deserve it. I think I can handle it. It's my number one goal, and I'm old school in the sense where like if you're not pining for that, you probably are in the wrong spot. No matter what company you work for, you should always want to be the one that's handed the ball to run with it and score the touchdown. So that's where I want to be in TNA. I want to be the champ. I want to be the face of the company. I want to be the top guy. I want to be the person you think of when you see those TNA letters. I want that responsibility. And that's what I'm pining for every day. A lot of other good things have come along the way with that attitude. So, it is what it is, but I won't ever stop trying.
Yeah. And, that road continues at TNA Lockdown coming up once again, Sunday, August 23rd from Chicago. Is going to be an awesome night. And we're going to get to see a lot of nastiness from Brian Myers and the rest of the system and the whole card. I mean, what a great night that's going to be. I mean, it's loaded. It is loaded.
Every match inside a steel cage, folks. Live on pay-per-view.
You cannot beat it. Well, Brian, I got to tell you, you've been around so long and seen so many terrific moments from you. It's great to finally get to meet you and say hi.
Thanks, man.
Yeah. So we will look forward to once again seeing these guys. Once again, TNA Thursday Night Impact. That's 6 to 8 p.m. Pacific on AMC and AMC Plus, and TNA Lockdown coming up on the 23rd.
All right, and there you go, Coach Brian Myers. How about that?
Yeah. A legend inside the ring and outside the ring for more reasons than one. His contributions to our great sport can be seen through his memorabilia stuff, through his time as a jobber, through now his time as a successful wrestler in the system. He's done it all in professional wrestling, and he's a role model for a lot of guys who are coming up in this business, that it's not where you start, but where you finish. And the ability to use social media, the ability to use podcasting. He's got a great promo, and he's reached the top, but not the tippy top, because it's great to hear that he wants to go for the world championship.
And when I brought it up to him, I mean, you heard how he answered. He just snapped that right off. And, I don't know if people have really thought about Brian as being the world champion, but look, this guy has been doing this for around 20 plus years now. Made his debut in 2004, and that's hard to believe. I mean, I didn't realize he'd been around quite that long, but it would be intriguing to see him get the chance after, he's kind of had to play second fiddle to everybody for so long, to be the guy out there. And after talking to him, I know he could do it. He could do it. And, what a story that would be, if he gets around to, 23, 24, 25 year-ish period as a wrestler and finally finds a way to be, now forgetting about the losing streak and becoming a world heavyweight champion. What a tale that would be for everybody, and just a real role model situation for professional wrestlers that get out there and, I don't want to do the job today. I can't. I don't think I should lose this person. And just throw that garbage out the window.
I agree. Everyone's got a spot, whether it's basketball, football, baseball, or professional wrestling. You got to fill the role of the team, and everyone's role in the team is vital. And when when your number is called, you better take advantage of it, because it doesn't happen very often.
Yeah. Of course, that legendary losing streak. I was looking up a couple, because I remember when I was younger and just getting into wrestling, it was Barry Horowitz under a different name, Jack Hart, who I believe had like a 160 match losing streak down there in Florida before he won a championship down there. I mean, Brian's was like 286 or something there. I was trying to find it here real fast, but I mean, that still just blows me away. That, once it gets going, Coach, you might as well just run with it like he did. And, and it turned out great in the end. Had that fantastic WrestleMania moment with, one of his best friends, Matt Cardona, as they won the World Tag Team Championship to end the streak. I mean, it's hard to imagine losing that many matches in a row. I mean, and we know it's professional wrestling, but still, you kind of like, what, I got to win one day. It's really something.
Yeah. Yep. And it just shows that his love for the sport is more important than his love for what he wants. And that's a great thing.
Yeah. And that's the kind of guy that you want on top. That's the kind of guy you want everybody looking to in your locker room and saying, look, if this guy was willing to go through this, and then I can't complain about losing 4 or 5 matches after somebody on the big stage lost 200 and some matches. And he's a great guy, and I want to thank TNA and Ross and Simon for setting that up with us and getting a chance to meet Brian Myers. So what a terrific guy. I was incredibly impressed with him, Coach.
Me too.
Yeah, just goes to show TNA, man. They keep getting punched in the face and they keep finding a way to come back. It is something else. So we're going to step back and take a break. And when we come back, well, a lot of people got punched in the face all over the place, but I do want to talk about a wild episode of SmackDown this week. Holy cow. This is a good one. And we get to hour number 2. We're going to hear from Darby Allin, talk a lot of AEW Dynamite, Collision, and get ready for All In. So stick around, everybody. Got a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show. Coach Rosie and myself will be right back.
I love days like these at the pool, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. I'm ready to make a splash with clearer skin thanks to Skyrizi, risankizumab Riza. Skyrizi is a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy. At 4 months, most people saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe, and many were even 100% plaque-free. People also saw significant improvement in psoriasis symptoms of pain, redness, itching, and burning.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
Now there's nothing on my skin thanks to Skyrizi, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi, the #1 dermatologist-prescribed biologic in psoriasis. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Empower. Katie got a VIP box for the postseason. She worked with Empower to help her get good at money so she can be a little bad. She planned well and was able to bring the whole family.
Who wants homemade egg salad sandwiches?
Even Beth.
Horseradish? Anyone? How about some tuna on rye?
Oh, strike 3, Beth. Invest well, live a little. Start today at empower.com.
You could get up to $1,000 just for driving your child to school. Thanks to a special grant from the state of Nevada, this year, the Clark County School District is offering transportation reimbursement to families zoned for 1- or 2-star CCSD schools that change to 3-, 4-, or 5-star CCSD schools through open enrollment. Visit itsyourchoice.ccsd.net to search for CCSD schools with available seats. Open enrollment lets you choose the CCSD school that's right for you, including high-performing 4- and 5-star schools. Already made the switch to open enrollment? You could be eligible for transportation reimbursement too, up to $1,000. Hurry, open enrollment for this school year closes soon. Applications are due by August 21st. Restrictions apply. Learn more at itsyourchoice.ccsd.net. This message is sponsored by the Clark County School District, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
1015 FM KDON.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we're back on the Mark Hoke Show here on KDON 1015 FM. Talk of Las Vegas. Also streaming on the Odyssey app. Got a great rewind feature, so if I said something cool, you can rewind it and hear it over and over again. Or if Coach Rosie said something really smart that put me down and made me look like an idiot, you can hear it over and over again. Download that app right now. AUDACY. 220 stations plus all sorts of cool podcasts. And of course, my little show right here with all my pals. So promise you will be entertained for hours and hours, maybe days to come. You might, Coach, they might just lock themselves in their bedroom and just stay on the Odyssey app for 3 or 4 days and get all stinky and disgusting. It's
whatever floats your boat. If that's what gets that dopamine rush for you, do it. It's a great app, and there's great shows of all different varieties, and you'll have a great time. And you'll protect your skin.
Yeah, there you go. Before we get into what happened on in WWE this week, I do want to wish all the best to good old JR. It kind of sucks getting a tube stuck in your brain on Wednesday, but he's home on Friday. I mean, this is amazing. He had brain shunt surgery, which removes excess fluid on the brain. And get this, Coach. Surgery involved a thin tube being implanted in Ross's brain, which would allow excess cerebrospinal fluid to flow through the shunt into another part of the body, often the stomach area. Fluid is then absorbed into the blood. And apparently it had been affecting JR's memory very badly, which was what put him in the hospital earlier this year. So JR is good, and he swears to God, by God, he wants to go to all in this year. And boy, that would be amazing if he made it, Coach. But yeah, very happy to hear JR has gotten this little problem taken care of. He's been going through so much, Coach.
Yeah, he's tougher than a $5 steak in Las Vegas in the old days. JR has been going through a lot with falls and all that. Being a member of Ad Free Shows and Ring Classics, we get an opportunity to talk to JR periodically, and we all got to send video messages to him. And Conrad got the word to us real quick that he's recovering. His daughters are doing a great job of taking care of him, and I really do think we'll see him at All In.
I hope so too. That would be amazing. So, JR, we are all rooting for you, buddy. So take care of yourself, and maybe it'll get you on that plane to Wembley as long as you can handle it. Coach, a wild week in WWE. We had Solo Sikoa's back in the bloodline, which I don't know about that. I wanted to mention that before he hit SmackDown, but are you surprised that Solo is back in the bloodline after he was just getting that momentum going?
No, I think that's part of the story. I think he's going to be treated like trash for a couple months, and who knows? Maybe when it comes to Royal Rumble or Survivor Series, he's going to get a shot against Roman. And a lot of people are jumping on that Solo train because of his personality, because of his humor, and because he's not afraid to shoot back at the bloodline. So he'll do his time. He'll be embarrassed. He'll be used and abused, and I can't guarantee it, but I do think that when the story does hit the bottom of the ninth, we're going to see Sikoa on top.
Yeah. It's funny. You heard so many people a while back saying Solo's got no personality. What's he doing? I'm sitting there like, Solo, he is one of the funniest guys you'll meet. And, did a lot of time here in Vegas. And to hear people say that was just like, that's not his fault. Not his fault. So I'm hoping it doesn't get stifled again, just as he was getting momentum. But wow, Coach, what an episode of SmackDown.
Yes, it was.
I'm giving them a lot of hokey points on this one. As well, first we get Chelsea Green coming out, and Nick Aldis was going to strip her of the title, and she managed to. Oh, look at you showing off the Chelsea on the live stream. You guys got to get in the live stream, by the way. We'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah, she even says I'm the best. She said, "Josh, you're the best." How about that? I'm the only one.
Wow. Put that up in Matt Cardona's collectible area. Nice.
What a husband. I would have done the same for my wife.
Well, so Chelsea does an impassioned plea to Nick as she slams the belt into his chest and storms off. But Nick tells her to stop and says, as a GM, I'm doing the right thing, but as a man, I can't do this. I'm giving you 30 days to heal up. Of course, she has the broken orbital bone that she suffered in that match that she really didn't need to be in with Fatal Attraction. But your reaction, Coach, because I'll tell you, a lot of people are saying that's promo of the year. It was definitely up there.
Yeah, it was great, but me being the nerdy wrestling fan, why does she have to defend in 30 days when Liv had over 100 days to defend the title? Doesn't make sense to me, but the the promo was great. After everything, I loved it. Chelsea's finally getting her flowers, and she deserves it.
Yeah, I'm excited for her, and I hope things go well. She gets healed up, and give her a good reign. She did. I hate saying that she deserves it. Stuff. I think I always like to say more that you earned it, but she's earned that opportunity. She really has. So looking forward to seeing what Chelsea does, and I think she opened a lot of eyes on that promo instead of being that girl that just stands there and acts like the spoiled brat and screams. I mean, she showed some depth on that. And that's what I'm talking about with WWE, is that they've been lacking, is everybody just hasn't gotten to show their heart and their desire and their personality. And Chelsea showed it there. She showed it. You got pulled in by the things that she said. That's what they need. They need more of people pulling us in to make us feel like, yes, we want to root for her. Yes, we want to hate you with a passion. So good on Chelsea. And maybe that'll wake some people at WWE up. Oh, we had a couple more title changes on this card too, Coach. One, Tiffany Stratton says bye-bye to the U.S. title. See you later, alligator, as JC Jane picks up the U.S. title. So now all of Fatal Attraction have titles. But your reaction, Coach, is Tiffy and time in trouble in WWE?
Yes. I mean, if you noticed yesterday, she had to go on some streamer show Neon to try to get some FaceTime. The allure, the people really wanting to see Tiffy. That time is not now. It's not Tiffy time anymore. She had some modifications, but she didn't have any modifications to the mic, and she didn't have any modifications to some of her move sets. So Tiffany is a great personality, but people aren't feeling her right now.
Yeah, this is going to be, if this keeps up, this is one of the fastest falls from grace that I can remember, because when she came in, she just shot up the ladder. She's getting to wrestle Charlotte Flair at WrestleMania, and now who knows? Who knows what's going to happen to her? I mean, look, we said there might be some victims of these recent call-ups that happened. She might be one of them. I don't know. And it's a shame, because, if you use her right, she's obviously an incredible athlete, was a U.S. gymnast, but wow, unbelievable. Tiffy is out. JC Jane is in, though. Fatal Attraction's taking over, Coach.
They're great. They personify what a heel is, whether it's 1980, 1990, or today. They're the definition of what a heel faction is supposed to be, by the way they talk, the way they dress, their movesets. They warm the hearts of old wrestling fans.
Yes, they do, for sure. And speaking of warming the hearts of old wrestling fans, well, Haku shows up and whips his boys into shape, and the MFTs are now the World Tag Team Champions, as they win a triple threat match with the War Raiders and the former champions, R-Truth and Damian Priest. Coach, I like this. I know some people are complaining about Tala and that he makes mistakes and stuff, but look, with Haku there, these guys are going to add some extra intensity into this whole thing, and maybe finally we're going to get some respect in the tag team division in WWE.
Exactly. I don't think we've had a tag team championship match on a pay-per-view or PLE, whatever they want to call it, in a long time. The tag team division in every organization is struggling. They just don't have the inventory or the quality of tag teams to be able to display that form of professional wrestling. But it's a form of professional wrestling that many people were raised on and many people love. And for them to kind of go away from the tag team division has been sad. And for them to highlight it now with, Fatal Attraction in the women, you got this new group with Haku for the men. Who knows? It's not going to be an old man's division anymore. Obviously, I love the Hardys and I loved Damian and R-Truth and Christian and Edge, but they need to get some younger guys dominating that tag team division to bring some more eyes to it.
Yeah, no doubt about that. So congratulations to the MFTs, the new World Tag Team Champions. And that is pretty much going to wrap it up us for hour number 1. That's right. We get 2 hours on this great station of KDON 101.5 FM to talk of Las Vegas. And Coach, when we come back, well, only did we have Brian Myers, but we got Darby Allin coming up too, the former AEW World Champion. He'll be challenging for Kevin Knight for the TNT Championship at All In. We got to talk to him ahead of Dynamite. I had some fun with that one. Oh, man. What a cool guy. And you will see. You will see, I promise. So stick around. We've got so much more coming up as we have Darby Allin and take you around the world of pro wrestling. Even more, myself, Coach Rosie, Josh Rosenbaum, joining me here. We will be right back, everybody. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, YouTube, Mark Hoke Show, which is where we're also live streaming. You can get in the chat box, say hi. So do it now while we're on break. And when we come back, a whole lot more on the Mark Hoke Show.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
If you need to sell your house,
talk to Aaron Taylor.
You want to sell it fast and get the most cash, talk to Aaron Taylor,
the real estate guy. Hey Nevada, it's Aaron Taylor, the real estate guy. Let's have some fun, people. When it's time to sell, nobody negotiates harder or gets you top dollar like the real estate guy. Need a cash advance? We can put money in your hands before closing to help you with repairs, moving, bills. Don't want strangers walking through your home every weekend? Who does? We'll give you one simple number, your bottom line. No commissions, no hidden fees, no guessing, just a straightforward offer. And in many cases, people, money in your hands in as little as 3 days. For more than 30 years, the Real Estate Guy team has been one of Nevada's most trusted names in real estate. Over 8,000 families helped, more than $2 billion sold. So call the Real Estate Guy today, 702-310-6683. That's 702-310-MOVE. eXp Realty license number 38886. Call for details.
talk to Aaron Taylor,
The Real Estate Guy.
Now is the time to refinance your auto loan with One Nevada Credit Union and put more chips back in your stack. With no payments for 90 days, you could score a better rate, lower your monthly payment, and keep more of your hard-earned money right where it belongs, in your pocket. That's money you can use for bills, savings, or a little more fun. It's fast, it's easy, and it's all about putting you in a better financial position. One Nevada Credit Union. We're all in with our members. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Opportunity Lender. You wouldn't put your life savings into a slot machine, so why keep it at a big bank where every month can feel like a gamble? At One Nevada Credit Union, we aren't playing games with your money. You get stability, local service, and better rates. Stop pulling the lever and hoping for the best. Switch to One Nevada Credit Union. Don't gamble with big banks. Federally insured by NCUA.
I love a girls' weekend, but my moderate to severe plaque psoriasis can sometimes take me out of the moment. Now I'm all in with clearer skin, thanks to Skyrizi, Risankizumab Risa, a prescription-only injection for adults who are candidates for systemic or phototherapy.
You can usually find me in the kitchen, but my active psoriatic arthritis can limit me at times. Now I'm still in the mix with Skyrizi to treat my joint symptoms.
With Skyrizi, most people with plaque psoriasis saw 90% clearer skin when measured from head to toe at 4 months.
Or if you're an adult with active psoriatic arthritis, Skyrizi helps you move with less joint pain, stiffness, swelling, and fatigue.
Don't use if allergic to Skyrizi. Serious allergic reactions, increased infections, or lower ability to fight them may occur. Before treatment, get checked for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor about any flu-like symptoms or vaccines.
There's nothing like clearer skin.
There's nothing like better movement, and that means everything. Ask your doctor about Skyrizi. Visit skyrizi.com or call 1-866-SKYRIZI to learn more.
KMXB HD3 Henderson, K268CS Las Vegas. Always live on the free Odyssey app. 1015 FM KDON.
Lala has
been downgraded from hurricane to tropical storm. I'm Ann Carrick, Fox News. Even with the downgrade, Hawaii is not yet out of the woods. Fox Weather's Katie Byrne reports from Honolulu.
We've already seen significant impacts over on the Big Island. And in fact, there are search and rescue teams underway right now because of 2 homes, at least, that have been swept away because of a ton of rain. 3 feet of rain was recorded in one spot right outside of Hilo. We also know officials have confirmed 1 person has died in a storm-related car accident over on that island as well. Roughly 70% of customers on the Big Island don't have power right now. More than 100,000 without power across the entire state. Officials are also warning about how strong these winds will be. Not only could we see flooding, but we could see these winds pick up debris and send them flying.
Hawaii Governor Josh Green already declaring a state of emergency. Dozens of National Guard members reportedly standing by for deployment. 1 person is confirmed dead from the storm, several areas getting more than 2 feet of rain. At least 6 people killed and several others missing due to flooding in Indiana, and more rain is expected. Fox Weather's Adam Klotz has that update.
Some of these communities, 8 foot of total rainfall. Still could see a little bit of rain. The ground is saturated, right? So additional rain could cause a problem. But those really big, heavy rains, hopefully those are winding down at this point. We saw plenty of rivers get up near major flood stage or moderate flood stages. They peaked, they crested, and now we're just going to kind of watch those move on downstream. Still at least some risk of some rain moving across the state of Indiana, but nothing like the last 4 or 5 days. There are still flood watches, flash flood warnings out there across central Indiana. And then most of the heavier rain is actually going to move more towards the Appalachian Mountains here for your day today.
Hundreds of people have evacuated from their homes. FEMA approved an emergency declaration for Indiana to provide federal disaster assistance. America's listening to Fox News.
History isn't just in textbooks. It's the story of us, the United States. 2026 marks 250 years of America. And throughout the year, Bill Hemmer takes listeners on a journey through the 250 most impactful moments in American history. From the spark of revolution to the battles for freedom, the ideas, inventions, and decisions that changed the world. The 250 most impactful moments in American history podcast. Listen and follow now at foxnewspodcasts.com.
You never know who might be taking the quiz.
Hi, everyone. It's Candace Cameron Bure.
Hey, everyone. It's Phil Sims.
It's Dolores Catania.
Hey, everyone. I'm Kix Brooks.
It's Candace Bushnell.
I'm Rob Paulson.
I'm Ryan Serhant.
Hey, everyone. I'm Nicole Palizzi.
Everybody's Kevin Nealon.
What's up, guys? It's Nia Sue, and it's time to take the quiz.
5 questions in less than 5 minutes every day. Listen and follow at thequiz.fox.
Your back-to-back Los Angeles Dodgers baseball is coming up this afternoon at 12. And the talk you love is always streaming on the Odyssey, iHeartMedia, or TuneIn apps. Just search for KDAWN in Las Vegas.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Las Vegas. This is the Mark Hoke Show. The Mark Hoke Show. Going bell to bell with the best in professional wrestling news, entertainment, and lots of Sin City surprises from inside the squared circle. Now, let's get to all the exciting pro wrestling action and bring on the host. Here is Mark Hoke.
Boom shakalaka, as the kids used to say. I'm sure Coach might know a little bit about boom shakalaka. Very happy to have you with us for hour 2 of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDAWN. Best in pro wrestling news, entertainment, just anywhere planetary. Just we're the best. Period. Been a busy day, Coach. Been a busy day on the show.
Yep. A lot of good stuff. 2 great interviews, some good discussion.
Yeah.
And it's on the Odyssey app. What else can be better?
Well, being on live stream too. We're on YouTube, X, and Facebook. X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook and YouTube, the Mark Hoke Show. Come on in, because we love to hear from you. We had a great time last week, especially in the chat box. So come say hi to us. Give us your thoughts. What's going on? I mean, look, we got TNA lockdown coming up. We've got, Money in the Bank's just, we're going to skip any PLEs in September in WWE, but there's a lot going on there. Kevin Owens and CM Punk. Oh, I don't think they like each other, Coach. I mean, sincerely,
I don't think they like each other very much. That bad blood has gone back a long way. So this has been a lot of fun to see that. And we're also getting ready for AEW All In here in a couple of weeks. Man, I can't believe it's almost here. As we get ready to head to Wembley Stadium, I think they're around 45,000 tickets sold. I'm sure they're going to crack 50 by the time it's all over, at least at Wembley. And that card is jam-packed. And one of the guys that is going to be on that card is the former AEW World Champion. Of course, also held the tag titles with Sting and a couple of reigns as TNT Champion as well. One of the most unique performers in pro wrestling history. And I got a chance to sit down with him. And, was I poking at Darby Allin at very much risk to myself. We had a lot of fun, though. Let's hear from the AEW superstar, Darby Allin. All right, Las Vegas. We are very excited. I have been getting ready for this all week. I can't wait. I just got to learn to hit buttons in the booth I've been working in for 4 years. But we have in the house the two-time TNT champion in AEW, one-time World Tag Team champion with Sting, and just recently held the AEW World Championship. Plus, he's best buddies with that Stinger guy, too. The only pro wrestler to climb Mount Everest, which he just did, and also holds the current record in AEW for destroying stuff and himself. You can see him perform at Dynamite and Collision. TV shows are going to be here at the Pearl Theater at the Palms, 4:30 p.m. live in Vegas, as he looks to regain his TNT championship heading into AEW All In on August 30th. You can get all your tickets at AEWTix.com. I give you the creator of the Scapegoat Flambe, All Elite Wrestling star Darby Allin. Darby, what's up?
Beautiful intro there, Mark.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beautiful intro. I was wondering where it was going, but it ended wonderfully.
What's it like to light somebody on fire in front of about 20,000 people? That happened here in Vegas.
Yes, that's incredible. That's incredible. Yeah, if you do that anywhere else, you would probably go to prison. But in the world of AEW, there is no rules. So let's rock and roll.
What was that? When you guys were coming up with all the spots in that match, you got 10 guys trying to kill each other out there. Whose idea? Was it yours, Jack's, or Tony's?
Who do you think?
Oh, I'm sure it was you.
Yes. Dude, who do you...
I mean, everybody knows that you like to do movie stuff too. So, I mean, was there any hesitancy on that when you guys put it together? Or did you guys like, it's all good. I've done this a million times.
No, it's all good. It's all good. The one time I haven't done that a million times. I've actually done that once before in my life when I was 9th grade. Me and my brother were playing with a gas tank in the backyard, and we were setting a baked potato on fire and actually playing hot potato with this baked potato that was on fire. But the flame from the potato was too close to the gas tank. And when I was holding the gas tank, it blew up in my hand. And my brother got 2nd-degree burns. You could see the muscle on his leg and everything like that. The skin just was completely gone. Wow. It was pretty insane. So I've only done that once before setting Jack Perry on fire. So
that is unreal. So you started all that even when you were a kid.
Yeah.
All this craziness of trying to destroy everything you can, hurt yourself, hurt other people. It's a childhood thing.
Yeah, well, I don't know. I guess you could call it that, but honestly, it was more about breaking down mental barriers in my mind because growing up and not having any confidence, the crazier I got, the more confident I got, and here we are now,
Well, I remember the last time that we got to do an interview, and I talked about your healing process that you do, because when people see everything that you go through, I usually hear a couple different reactions from fans. Either A, he's never going to survive doing this. B, why did they let him do this? Or C, he's totally insane. All three legit?
It's hard to tell, because with me, what people don't see is what I do outside of the ring to maintain everything. So I may appear to be really reckless, but everything is so calculated. And I feel incredible. And they keep adding years. He's not going to be able to walk when he's 30. Well, I'm 33 and I feel amazing. He's not going to be able to walk when he's 33. Well, I feel amazing. They're going to keep pushing it to a point where, of course, I'm not going to be able to walk when I'm 70. But let's be real. I truly believe I'm probably one of the,
in the AEW locker room, I feel
in the AEW locker room, I
know
feel
it sounds
the best.
crazy, but my body.
And I know it sounds crazy, but my body feels amazing.
Well, I know you know, I may put that video up again just to share it with everybody so they can hear your routine. Because I mean, it's amazing what you do and how you recover. Like I said, I just watch it. And I don't know, but I don't know if I could do it, but you are just something else, to say the least. You pulled off another stunt, but this time in the real world, you went up Mount Everest just a little while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I can only imagine the feeling that you had, especially because you had that broken foot and it held you back, you know, and it changed, you know, some bookings on AEW from what we heard, and a lot of goals for you, but you decided you healed up and you went right back at it and got up there. Tell us about that experience.
So in 2024 was originally when I was set to go to Everest. 2 weeks before I left, I broke my foot in a match. And everybody said that is a sign from God that you are not meant to climb this mountain. And I said the exact opposite. I said, it's a sign that I'm supposed to stop and smell the roses. Because I was so fixated on making it to the summit that I was forgetting about the whole process. So when I broke my foot, it really made me think about everything. So the second time around, 2025, when I actually made the summit, I was appreciating everything from start to finish. I wasn't just thinking, oh, this is about the summit. This is about the summit. Every step along the way, I was so grateful for. And it was the most hard/rewarding thing I've ever done in my life. And there's not a day since I've summited that I don't think about the summit and everything I learned along the way. Just the true beauty of life. It was incredible, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity, because a lot of people that don't know the wrestling world, they don't know that there's technically there's no off season. It's twice a week, every week, no off season. So the fact that I was able to do that in the prime of my career, 33 years old, you want to go attempt to climb Mount Everest, go for it. And with AEW, that's such the most beautiful thing. If you have your head screwed on right, you could truly understand that this is the greatest place on earth, because it allows you to think about your life outside the ring just as much as you can inside the ring. Because inside the ring, as you said earlier, I set a guy on fire with a flamethrower. So there's no rules. There's no boundaries what you can do in the ring and out of the ring. They just want you to live your life to the absolute fullest. And I am so grateful.
Yeah, well, congratulations on doing something that very few people on this planet have done. You know, so impressive. Another thing that was impressive recently happened. You won the AEW World Championship. A goal that, and I got to say, when you first started in AEW day one, I was watching, and I said, well, this guy's pretty cool, but I didn't think right away that you were going to be able to get to the top. But you won everybody over. You worked your butt off. You did all the things that you needed to do. And in your hometown, man, you got to win the belt. What and it was, and cool thing about it too was, you know, I'm watching that promo on the show before you won it, and I could just see like all those years were starting to come out when you were talking. What was that moment like when you were given that belt?
I honestly had no emotions left inside of me. I spent all my energy just that day talking in that promo before the match about what it meant to me. And I was so depleted that I had nothing left. So as I'm holding this, I feel just complete emptiness in a way of like, it took everything. It took everything to have that happen. And I had no energy left. I was grateful. But as I look at this, I was like, man, there's nothing left in me. It took everything. But it was so amazing now looking at it and what I've done with my time as champion. And I was willing to go places nobody else was willing to go every single week. And we're not talking about, oh, let's just have a little night off and a quick defense. No, there was times I thought the championship, especially in the first match with Tommaso Ciampa, that was my first ever defense as champion. And I thought I was going to get like,
you're going to get chomping.
I literally thought with some of those the spots we did in the match, that this championship run can be ended from injury. But that's the thing, is I'm never going to slow down, because the moment you slow down, to me, the moment you slow down, the passion's gone. Why else are you doing it? So it's got to be full throttle. You got to give everybody, every single night, everything you have. Otherwise, get out of here. And that's the thing with me, is there's no off season. There's no off season. I don't have to wait till Wembley to show my greatest stuff. I can do it on a weekly basis. Everybody's like, you got to slow down. I cannot slow down, because if I slow down, then I lose the passion. And I'm a very passionate person.
No, are you serious? Yeah. We all have seen that. That's for sure. And we're on the Mark Hoke Show with All Elite Wrestling star Darby Allin. That World Championship reign, some people were like, "Oh, it's too short," but a lot of us, I think, were really impressed that you just went all out, man. I mean, we've seen champions across the sport that take a month or two off while they're champion. You just went, like I said, full throttle against everybody you could, doing every nutsy thing that could happen in a ring. There was no breaks on that car, that's for sure. And it was a great ring.
Yeah, I have no regrets with that. I was burning the candle at both ends, but I have no regrets at all, because you live by the sword, you die by the sword. So if it was short and sweet championship run, that's my motto in life. You just got to bring it, man. So I honestly have no regrets. I would not change a single thing.
Yeah, and we absolutely enjoyed it for sure. Well, right now, it seems that you are entangled in a dance with the current TNT champion, Kevin Knight, who has emerged as a young superstar to be pretty damn good. But Darby, man, I think of you when I think of that belt, to be frank. What are we going to do to get this thing back? Because All In's coming up.
So here's a funny story. Me and Kevin Knight actually trained at the same wrestling school. And I met him 2 months in, and he was 2 months into wrestling. At that point, I was about 5 years in, but he was 2 months into wrestling. And I saw the world of potential in Kevin. And I asked him, how far do you want to take it with this whole wrestling? And he's like, oh, I'm willing to go all the way. So I'm going to ask Kevin that question one more time. How far are you willing to take it? Because I want to take it to Wembley. Falls count anywhere. Let's get crazy. Let's get wild. And but yeah, that TNT championship, that was a very pivotal moment in my career. Especially with AEW. When something first starts, you kind of don't know where you stand in the grand scheme of everything, what you can bring to the brand. But the moment I became TNT champion back in 2020, it gave me so much confidence. And it instilled so much in me that I am capable of doing so much for AEW. And I could bring so much, because I truly believe I'm willing to go places no other wrestler in the world is willing to go. Nobody is willing to go to places. So, yeah, that's kind of been my whole motto in the TNT championship. When I first won it in 2020, it kind of set everything off.
Do you have a fantasy spot? Something that you would love to do that is just so reckless and so nuts, that is in your mind in that deep, dark place that you're like, I really want to do this, and get that devilish look in your eye?
Well, hopefully I answer that question at Wembley.
Oh, we're gonna get a big one there. That should be a lot of fun. Now, you talked about being the only guy willing to go certain places, but there is another guy that came to AEW that I'm sure you were a fan of, that has done some pretty crazy stuff too, by the name of Mick Foley. See, and you're smiling already, because I'm guaranteed you guys have probably talked about some of this stuff. I would think he'd be kind of a role model and a hero to you for what he did.
Yeah, absolutely. He didn't know for the longest time that he inspired me, because you got to remember, I was a massive fan of wrestling. Massive fan. Growing up. There isn't a time I remember growing up that I didn't watch wrestling. It was just in the early stages. I was always watching wrestling. But here's the thing: is I never felt I could connect to the wrestlers. Whether it's they look like football players. I could never connect. There was guys that I saw that I could never see myself hanging out with them. But then Mick Foley was a guy that I saw, and I was like, I could connect with him. I felt like he spoke my language, and it was So he's very, very heavily influenced a lot of my career and a lot of just my life in general. With not being the guy that was destined for greatness, but they took it upon themselves to make a dream become reality with what they're physically able to do and what they're able to push through. And he's incredible.
Do you want to see him go one more time? Maybe beat up Max just for fun?
If he feels just like Sting, if he feels the final chapter is unwritten and he feels it in his soul, there shouldn't be anything to stop him. Because everybody told Sting there's nothing else you could do in wrestling. You retired in 2014 when he had that neck injury. And everybody says, why would you ever come back to wrestling? It's because there's something in his spirit, a question that he had to answer. And if Mick Foley has that inside of him, by all means, do it. Do it.
Just don't make him mad. Not that I wouldn't. I think everybody would think that would be a fun match to see. I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't advise it, Darby. You two might kill each other. Could you imagine that match, though?
I just never really thought of it. You know what I mean? Like, because it was never. But when you say it, and I have to picture it, it sounds insane. It sounds totally insane in all the best ways. Yeah. So, but like it's just something. It's like when Sting came, you never thought you were ever going to be teaming with this guy. So when someone said, "Well, could you imagine?" No, I couldn't imagine because he retired essentially in 2014. And same with Mick. Like you think he's retired, so like you have to like take yourself out of this dream state and put into reality what would really happen. And then when you really think about what could happen, it's crazy.
Terrifying. It's what it is. It is terrifying. But maybe Mick will pick you too. That would be incredible. Well, we've got a big show coming up tomorrow night here in Las Vegas. AEW Collision and Dynamite will be going on. So we get the Dynamite live on Wednesday night and then Collision will air on Saturday. What do we have in store? You're technically not on the card, but I believe Mr. Knight is, and that could be bad. But the other side is you could end up facing Chris Jericho, who's challenging.
Yeah, well, think about the possibilities of that. I've only wrestled Jericho in a singles match once. So, to me, the show tomorrow is all on the road to our biggest show that you're all in. So I could just say, expect the unexpected. Just because I'm not there in a match capacity, I have a lot, and I mean a lot, I want to say.
Kevin, he's here. You better watch yourself, man. And you too, Jericho. Don't stand in his way. Yeah, this is going to be a great night. We had a blast at Dynamite tapings the last time around, and this is going to be fun too. The Palms is such a great place. Darby, will you jump off one of those balconies for me, please? Have you been in there yet? Were you in there last time? Yeah, that's right.
Well, technically, no. I was getting drugged through the desert in a body bag last time we were in Vegas. Right. So I didn't really get to experience the Palms itself, but maybe tomorrow night I can change that.
I'll give you $1 if you do it.
$1. Okay.
That's all you need. I don't even have to give you the $1. You do it.
Yeah. Like, don't even just tell me and I'll be like, oh, that sounds fun.
Yeah. And last thing to ask you about real quick, I want to congratulate you on getting married. How do you maintain this life balance, man? It's incredible. And by the way, cool ceremony. I would have loved to have been there. But it's all good.
Yeah. It was incredible. It was the very next day we had a pay-per-view in California. So I spent my honeymoon getting thrown face first in the thumbtacks, but that's just the life we live. And the wedding itself was amazing. All I ever wanted at the wedding was a mechanical bull, and we got it. And it was fun. It was the best of both worlds. We had her soft, elegant side, and we had my crazy, wild side. So, it was a beautiful day.
Yeah. Well, congratulations.
And my mom body slammed me on the thumbtack.
That's right. I did see that.
Yes. So, yeah, it was awesome.
God, you're a 1-6 son of a gun. But we love you, Darby. So, Darby, I want to thank you for coming in. I had a blast the last time I interviewed you. Now I get to meet you in person. And golly, I just wish we had somebody here to cause some mayhem. I can tell you're ready. You're ready, man.
I'm always ready. Yeah, like when I was trained for Everest, we did a thing on the radio where I held my face in a bowl of water for 3 minutes, and it was the most. People are like, why'd you do that on a radio show? They can't even see it. You're just sitting there gurgling water for 3 minutes. But I'm always down for a good time.
All right. Well, we'll see you tomorrow night at the Palms, my friend. Thank you for coming into the K-Dawn studios. We greatly appreciate it. I wish you all the best in the future, and maybe we'll get that TNT title and then rack up a couple more world championships just for fun.
Yeah, I'm here, man. I'm here.
Sounds great. All right, Darby Allin, from AEW, everybody. Thank you for being here, my friend.
Thank you, Mark.
There you go, Darby Allin, Coach.
Yeah.
Well, a lot to take away from that interview, actually.
But yeah, Darby's great.
Yeah, and I was surprised. I finally saw that somebody did a story about the possibility of a match between Darby Allin and Mick Foley. Could you imagine that, Coach? I mean,
I don't want to imagine it. I like Mick Foley.
Wow, you're not expecting Mick to dish out a little punishment on that? I mean, I know he is 61 now, if I remember right.
Yeah, but he's had a hell of a lot more wear and tear on his body than me, and it's tough for me to get out of bed at 52. I can only imagine him getting out at 61 off the top of a cage through tables and losing teeth and thumbtacks and this and that. Let's keep him around.
Yeah, well, I would say if there are two guys that you could trust Mick to be with in a match if he decided to go one more, would be MJF, and the other would be Darby. I'm sure that they could piece something together that would keep Mick from really messing himself up and do a hardcore match, but do it smart. So yeah, it was a lot of fun. We want to thank the guys, Adam and Matt from AEW, for setting that up for us. We greatly appreciate it. So I got to hang out with Darby Allin this week too. So, Coach, we're going to step back, take a break, and when we return, All In's coming up, baby. And there was a lot of cool stuff that happened with that Continental Cup too here in Las Vegas, as we had some very interesting results. Stick around. We'll talk about that and a whole lot more. Plus, somebody got 16 million views on their debut. Who was that? Find out when we return on the Mark Hoke Show.
We're here with Chuck, founder of Dollar Loan Center. Chuck, what happens if someone applied before and was denied?
Craig, I love this question, and the answer is simple. If you were denied in the past and still looking for a loan, before you go somewhere else and pay way too much, give us another shot. Everyone's situation changes. You may have a cosigner, a new job, a raise, who knows, but we're going to try to help.
I'm telling you, it seems like my credit score goes up and down each month.
Great point. We don't use a traditional credit score at the DLC, and you don't need great credit or collateral. We can also help you consolidate those expensive payday and title loans because we lend way more and charge way less.
Dollar Loan Center loves Nevada and lends up to $5,000 in minutes. Stop by a nearby location, apply over the phone, or online at don'tbebroke.com.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
When you're planning your next job, options matter. Now in stock at Lowe's. Get the roofing brands you trust, including GAF, Owens Corning, and CertainTeed, with more colors to choose from. Plus, concrete fence blocks, including tan colors, are in stock and ready to go. And when you're on the clock, we help keep you on schedule. Order by 4 p.m. and get next day job site delivery on select items as early as 6:30 a.m. At Lowe's, we have your back on the job. Delivery Monday through Saturday in select Las Vegas zip codes, subject to availability.
1015 FM K-Dawn.
This is the Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Here again, your host, Mark Hoke.
All right, we're back on the Mark Hoke Show here on K-Dawn as we continue our trek through the world of pro wrestling. We'll see. Coach Rosie's a little frozen on that live stream on there. I'm not sure what's up, but I'm sure he'll get that figured out shortly. He'll be back. But boy, did we have a hell of a week here. I mean, Dynamite and Collision was a blast. And before I really get to talk about the experience and what happened, we had a lot of great FSW stars showing up on the card this week. So they're all going to be on. We're on Collision last night. Our friends from Lights Camera Faction all got into a 4-way match with Shane Taylor Promotions and I'm sorry, but they wrestled. Rochelle Riveter and Maserati got to wrestle on the card. The Mariachis, you'll hear them as the Montañas on there, but they wrestled as well. So I want to congratulate all of our FSW people, plus Viva Van, who was FSW. She's Ring of Honor and got to wrestle Chris Statlander. Man, she turned the fans against Chris. Everybody was cheering Viva. That's not easy to do. But yeah, and I apologize. The Hurt Syndicate and Shane Taylor was against Sonico and the Montañas and Jake Redondo. So, but boy, those guys took some nasty spears. Yeah, the Lights Camera Faction were up against Leo Rush and the Rascals. And that was just Leo Rush's that new personality of his is it's something else. But I think more significantly, we had some good setup for All In. I think the most intriguing part was that Swerve Strickland was confronting the Trios champions, and just all sorts of people coming out. We had like 10 people out there during that segment. But are we going to see Swerve teaming up with, the former New Day at All In for the Trios Championship? That kind of seemed like the hint. I mean, why would Swerve go out there alone? With the Demand on one side, all these guys on the stage, and Swerve stuck between them and the Trios champions, Hangman Brody and Bandito. Will we be seeing new Trios champions? As could the New Day guys be getting the belt? Of course, Austin Creed and apparently Kofi Kingston is going to be known as, KSM. That was filed in the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office on Tuesday of this week. Those are his initials. His name is Kofi Sarkodie Mensah. So maybe, it's going to break my heart if they're not in that tag match. But I suppose that they come back and win the Trios titles, that's going to be terrific. And, taking belts off certain people, I'm okay with it. But that was probably, to me, the biggest setup that happened at All In, or leading into All In here on the Collision shows. But the Continental Cup had some big surprises, at least a couple, I thought. First we had, I'll talk about that. Let's see. Mox beat Jack Perry, and Jack looked great. He took a hell of a beating. Mox just destroyed him.
in a lot of ways. It was pretty ugly. But we also saw Nigel McGuinness advanced over Shibata, and now they're saying Nigel got hurt. Hopefully he's going to be good to go because I want him in the final. We don't know the bracket because the next round here of 8 people is basically a random draw. So we don't know who's going to be facing off with who. Jay White also knocked off David Finlay, and that was a fun match. So there's some Palace intrigue as we get ready for that. By the way, also Kyle O'Reilly knocked off Roderick Strong, who wasn't too happy about it. But here are your list of people that have advanced in that Continental Cup. So it's Mox, White, Claudio, Eddie, Orange Cassidy, and then the other ones that we said. There's some interesting possible matchups. Echerico also beat Brian Cage. By the way, I was sitting next to a couple guys that had never seen Brian Cage do the 619, and that might have been the biggest mark out those guys had. I've seen Brian do that before, and man, I hope Brian gets pushed sometime. I get why you don't want to have him beat the CMLL world champion in the first round of a tournament. By the way, I think my hair messed up here on the live stream a little bit, but that's okay. But we'll see who gets who in round 2. I'm hoping for an upset or two. I really am, and I hope Nigel's okay. I was absolutely loving seeing Nigel go. He looked terrific, and he's the big shows. Or Paul White is over there cheering him on, and so happy for Nigel to win that match. But that was this Continental Cup in very exciting, and it's nice to know that you can just take 16 guys off your roster and say, you know what, we're just going to take 16 guys and put them in a tournament and just really provide a lot of excitement for the fans. AEW's roster is super duper deep. Hey, also taking place at these at the Dynamite and Collisions, Maxwell Jacob Friedman brings the house down as he picks up victory, and he will be advancing to the number 2 spot in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In, which means he gets Andrade to kick things off. Well, wouldn't that be funny if nobody else got in the match? But they will. You know MJF is in this and dragging it out. But I think the other intriguing thing about MJF's win and being in the Casino Gauntlet match is that gets you a world championship match. And I was talking to a couple people and said, wouldn't that be interesting if you have Will Ospreay win the world title and then MJF marches out there? Oh boy. It's a possibility because I don't care who's in that. I don't care if God's in that match. MJF is winning that Casino Gauntlet match. Oh, what a twist that would be. Oh my Lord. But yeah, that was, those were some of to me, the really big things that came out of that. Kevin Knight, Chris Jericho overall had a good match, but God, that one spot. Oh my God. Don Callis was going to interfere, and Chris had the walls of Jericho on Knight in the middle of the ring and kind of had to shuffle him over to take the screwdriver in the head. Yeah, that one was a little rough. But the thing was, I think when we were live, we didn't really notice it that well. But when you look at the clips, it's pretty obvious. It did, because really didn't notice Don was trying to hop in the ring, and yeah. But great shows, and man, All In is 2 weeks away. Where's that card stand right now? Let's take a look as we preview All In. Willow Nightingale, Mercedes Moné, they kind of wrap things up on Collision as Mercedes beat Zeta Steel. But that match for the AEW Women's World Championship, I still miss Tekla in this thing. I'm sorry. I love Tekla. She's just amazing. Kenny Omega defends the AEW World Championship against Will Ospreay. I think we all know where that is probably headed. The tag match that, they're not going to do it. Cage and Cope defend the tag titles against the Young Bucks. And that's kind of, it's definitely a dream match, but good Lord. Oh, FTR, Motor City Machine Guns and the former New Day are still looming out there. Oh, make my dream come true, Tony. Come on. We also have announced Tommaso Ciampa is going to be in that gauntlet match. So Andrade and MJF will have to deal with Ciampa. That won't be fun. Continental Challenge Cup final will be held on that card as well. Divine Dominion. We'll talk about a match last because I got to slide into something here. Kevin Knight, Darby Allin, Falls Count Anywhere match for the TNT Championship. Kyle Fletcher. Oh, man, the look on Kyle Fletcher's face when Don Callis told him, hey, guess what I set up for you? What? He's your manager. And you put him in against Takeshita and Okada? What are you doing, Don? Maybe you need to have some fluid drain from your brain. I'm serious. Could you imagine having a championship? I mean, and just put it in real life for a second. And not only do you get put in against the guy you beat, who's one of the toughest son of a guns on the planet, and Takeshita, and just wrestling great, but you also get put in against one of the best to do it in the last 10 or 15 years in Okada. Don! Oh, my Lord. Ah, Don. Don. What a boo. That's, that's a Maple Leaf mess up by Don Callis. But we win as we get to Takeshita, Okada, and Fletcher. Primo. Very nice. Now, I want to mention something real quick when we come back about the experience that I had over there. Because I got to sit with T-Pain in the box, everybody. And I promise I'll get to the comments and chat box, too. I know we've had so much to do here. We've been kind of ignoring it a little bit. But who did T-Pain say he was in love with, and what did he call her? We're going to answer that question when we come back here on the Mark Hoke Show. Final segment on KDON 101.5 FM, the Talk of Las Vegas. Stick around, everybody.
Onyx, I keep having stomach issues. Please make me a doctor's appointment.
Okay, are you suffering from diarrhea, bloating, gas, or oily stools? If so, you may want to ask your doctor if it could actually be a problem with your pancreas, called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI.
My pancreas? How is EPI treated?
A prescription medicine like Creon, pancrelipase, is used to treat people who can't digest food normally because their pancreas doesn't make enough enzymes. Creon is the #1 prescribed treatment for EPI.
Creon may increase your chance of fibrosing colonopathy, a rare bowel disorder. Tell your doctor if you have a history of intestinal blockage or scarring or thickening of your bowel wall, if you are allergic to pork, or if you have gout, kidney problems, or worsening of painful swollen joints. Call your doctor if you have any unusual or severe gastrointestinal symptoms or allergic reactions. Take Creon as directed by your doctor, and always with food. Do not chew capsules, as this may cause mouth irritation. Other side effects may include blood sugar changes, gas, dizziness, sore throat, and cough. These are not all the side effects of Creon. You can learn more at 1-800-633-9110.
Before your appointment, visit creoninfo.com. That's CREON info.com.
When you're planning your next job, options matter. Now in stock at Lowe's. Get the roofing brands you trust, including GAF, Owens Corning, and CertainTeed, with more colors to choose from. Plus, concrete fence blocks, including tan color, are in stock and ready to go. And when you're on the clock, we help keep you on schedule. Order by 4 p.m. and get next day job site delivery on select items as early as 6:30 a.m. At Lowe's, we have your back on the job. Delivery Monday through Saturday in select Las Vegas zip codes, subject to availability.
Chumba Casino brings non-stop fun straight to your screen. Anytime, anywhere. Explore hundreds of games like slots, blackjack, and instant scratch-style cards. Sign up to unlock your free welcome bonus and daily login bonuses, and enjoy your chance at exciting prizes without spending a thing. No purchase necessary to join. Just click, play, and enjoy the ride. Only available in permitted states. See T&Cs.
Sponsored by VGW Group. No purchase necessary. See terms at ChumbaCasino.com. Must be over 21 and present in the state where it's legal to play.
You could get up to $1,000 just for driving your child to school. Thanks to a special grant from the state of Nevada, this year, the Clark County School District is offering transportation reimbursement to families zoned for 1- or 2-star CCSD schools that change to 3-, 4-, or 5-star CCSD schools through open enrollment. Visit itsyourchoice.ccsd.net to search for CCSD schools with available seats. Open enrollment lets you choose the CCSD school that's right for you, including high-performing 4- and 5-star schools. Already made the switch to open enrollment? You could be eligible for transportation reimbursement too, up to $1,000. Hurry, open enrollment for this school year closes soon. Applications are due by August 21st. Restrictions apply. Learn more at itsyourchoice.ccsd.net. This message is sponsored by the Clark County School District, aired in cooperation with the Nevada Broadcasters Association and the station.
1015 FM KDON.
You're listening to the #1 professional wrestling radio show in Vegas, The Mark Hoke Show.
The Mark Hoke Show.
Now, here again is Mark Hoke.
And we are back for the final segment of the Mark Hoke Show here on KDON, best of pro wrestling news, entertainment, and just all around zanius. Want to once again thank Brian Myers and TNA and AEW and Darby Allin. Pretty awesome getting two great guys like on the show. Last time Darby was on, I think we had 3. I think we had interviews with him, Orange Cassidy, and Nigel McGuinness. It just jam-packed the show. Darby just draws him in. It's amazing. So I got to talk about this because we had one of the funniest things that happened at the. I mean, like I said earlier in the show, we got put in the AEW guest box, and in that AEW guest box was T-Pain, the legendary performer. And T-Pain, I got the feeling T was a little new to AEW, but he was having an awesome time. There were a bunch of us up there were just enjoying ourselves very much. Now, why did I not mention about the tag titles? That tag title match coming up at All In between Divine Dominion, Lena Cross, and Megan Payne, taking on the Brawling Birds, Alex Windsor, and Jamie Hayter. Well, here's the answer to your question. As Divine Dominion's match wrapped up and they were beating people up, Alex and Jamie came out to the ring to go after him. And T-Pain is screaming, "That's Becky Lynch!" And I'm like, dude, it's not Becky Lynch. It's Becky Lynch! And he's just taking it all in. And look, I am not ashamed to say, I think Jamie Hayter is super attractive. I dig Jamie. And she just seems like a cool person. I'd love to interview her sometime. But T-Pain, after it's all wrapped up and Alex and Jamie are hanging out, yells to Jamie Hayter, and this is the honest to God truth, everybody, yells, "I love you, Thick Becky." That's right. T-Pain said, "I love you, Thick Becky," to Jamie Hayter. That was unbelievable. Oh my God, we were rolling. We were absolutely rolling. So T-Pain finding a way. Unreal. Yeah, I think our good friend Eric Hayes in the chat box, I'm guessing that Bowling Freak would be him. And by the way, I'm also going to call out our friend Eric Hay, who he'll be back on the show at some point, who said with his hairstyle, Brian Cage looks like a muscular Rico. Brian, I'm so sorry, but I had to tattle on Eric on that one. It's like, dude, come on. Brian Cage, no. So, yeah, the Haymaker, Eric Hay. Cage looks like a muscular Rico. I think I like the Thick Becky a little bit better. But God, do we have a great time. And once again, thanks to AEW for having us out as their guests. We really enjoyed the show, of course. And, man, it just sets up a lot of exciting stuff for All In. We're only a couple weeks away, and what a card that is going to be. I want to hit some of these comments in the chat box. And then, let me actually mention this first because I did tease it. Zillafau 2 did make his debut, as we had speculated, on NXT. 16 million views for his debut under 15 hours. Wow. Zilla might be the best of them all. I don't know. But he is pretty intriguing. I mean, just a great personality. I watched him with Brody King over here at the Progress Show during WrestleMania and just looked good. So,
Let's take a look at some of these comments in the chat box. I know Javon Campbell's firing away in here. Stone Cold Ron Cena dropped the tag titles. Yes, R-Truth is gone. They're going to get him involved with Priest and AAA, bringing us international comedy. I don't think R-Truth will be headed down to AAA anytime soon. But I think Damian Priest is going the way of Dominic Mysterio. And, oh, man, I'll tell you what. If they just start pigeonholing all the Latin guys saying, you know what? We got everybody up here. Just go down to AAA. I hope they don't do that crap. Ugh. Javon Campbell also said the only thing that will work for me is if Solo is going to sabotage the bloodline on a regular basis like the Joker. Yeah, that'll be all right. I'm sure that Jacob Fatu is still not happy he's in there either. But the question is, guys, where are they taking this? You know, you got the Usos losing all over the place, but of course, Jay beats Solo. I feel bad for Solo because people were really starting to get into him, and now you slide him down a little bit. I don't know if it's a good idea. What else do we have? And this moment brought me, well, look, I don't hate Danhausen, but they were at a house show, and Javon Campbell saying KO stunned Hoke's arch nemesis Danhausen with a preemptive curse strike. KO, baby! That's right. We'll take care of that little overexposure problem. It's not Danhausen's fault. Look, he's making money. They're telling him, go out, do your thing, do this, do that, do that, do this. They just maybe need to just tell him to go out to do this. And then a little later on, do that. Not do this, do that, and that, and this, and this, and that. I don't want to see Danhausen get burned out. That would suck. And we were talking about Darby Allin's interview and how he flambéed his brother. So a hot potato, a gas can, Darby's brother, is the origin story of being the more homicidal, suicidal, genocidal than Sabu. Yes, that is correct. 9th grade, not good story. Not good story. But wow, amazing stuff from Darby Allin and Brian Myers on the show today. Some other news that is taking place. Hey, we can't forget the G1 Climax is going on over in Japan, that massive round robin tournament. And right now they have finished up the block matches. And boy, even standings this year, nobody ran away with anything. Block A, Yoda Tsuji, Rory Oya, and sorry, my throat's stuck a little bit. And Katsuke Takeshita all advanced with 6-3 records. So pretty even pool there. Oleg Bolton comes up just short at 5-4. We have 5 other guys at 4-5 in that group. Wow. Or 4 guys, excuse me. It's pretty crazy. 3 and 6 lost the pool. B block, Callum Newman, Yuya Imura, Gabe Kidd all advanced with 6-3 records. So once again, nobody broke away in that one. 3 guys had 5-4 records in that one, including Zack Sabre Jr. So they missed the bracket play on that. 4 guys at 4-5. And Shota Umino, who got hurt after night 1, had to withdraw. He went 0-9 because of the forfeits. But a pretty crazy G1 Climax, number 36 going on over there. And they'll start those playoffs very shortly. So don't forget about that. One of the great tournaments in pro wrestling every year over in New Japan. And speaking of that, JC Mateo is dead. Jeff Cobb is back. Thank God. Oh, talk about fumbling that one. But Jeff Cobb is back in New Japan. So very happy to see him getting and rolling. Some other news and notes. Leah Mysterio has started her training in WWE. So get ready for that. I wonder how bad she's going to mess with Dom. That could be something. Cody Rhodes on his podcast admitted that his biggest regret, and boy, there's a lot of stuff that could have been, but his biggest regret is that neck tattoo. You remember when he got that and JR was like, what the hell did you do? He said the work's great, but he said even his dad would have hated that thing. Ugh. He said he's not getting it removed. So whatever works for the American nightmare. FSW coming up, by the way, here in town. I believe it's on 22nd, if I remember right. Zoe Serrano, the former Zoe Stark, is going to be taking on Brittany Brooks. FSW. That's going to be fun. And we welcome Zoe back with open arms. We're thrilled to see you in ring here in FSW again. So thank you for taking the time to come back and wrestle with everybody here in your home. We are thrilled to see you. So we got your back, girl. All right. And that is going to do it for us here on the Mark Hoke Show in Cape Town. What a packed show. As Brian Myers, Darby Allen joining us, and just a whole lot more. Thanks, Coach Rosie. Apparently his phone battery died. We lost him. And by the way, Phil Stamper mentioned real quick, there is some cool stuff going on with Revolver, as they are going to be on YouTube and IWTV, Internet Wrestling TV. So make sure you check that out. And they're going to be also uploading the Revolver catalog there too. So say hi to the guys at the Wrestling Revolver. That's going to do it for us. Follow us on X at Mark Hoke Show, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, The Mark Hoke Show. Guys, we'll see you next week on The Mark Hoke Show, the best in pro wrestling. Have a great day, Las Vegas.
Want more of The Mark Hoke Show? Follow us on Twitter at Mark Hoke Show, like us on Facebook at The Mark Hoke Show, and visit markhokeshow.com to keep up with everything happening with the show. And remember to check out all of our archive shows on YouTube at The Mark Hoke Show, and download our podcasts at markhokeshow.podbean.com and all your favorite podcast outlets. So join The Mark Hoke Show family today, and thanks for listening.
Las Vegas.